Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot, and for today's episode, we're going to be talking about crony capitalism, minimum wage, and other things that are wrong with America in the current time period. So basically, I was watching somebody else's channel, and they were talking about, I guess they were watching like Fox News or something like that in the last couple of days or something, and Mike Rowe was on there talking about various job stuff and whatnot, and was essentially like apparently bullshitting about like the overabundance of jobs and stuff in America. But yet, and I will agree with the person that was had this on the channel, and we're talking about Rowe and being like, yeah, the guy's out of touch or whatever, and they really are, honestly, dude. And that's the problem with Mike Rowe and a lot of other people for that matter, dude. It's like, you can have X number of jobs that you want, dude. But it's like if people don't want to do those jobs, they don't want to get paid fucking peanuts to go out there and work their ass off is what it is. They're just not gonna do that is what it is. And the thing is, like, I believe there is a misnomer out there though. People do not have money right now, dude. The people that, that this like quiet quitting thing, whatever the fuck you want to call it, like basically just doing enough to where you don't get fired and like if they fire you, you don't really give a fuck or whatever. People don't really have money to actually to not have work at this point, dude. What they have is they have been beaten down so much so that if you are in a situation to where you basically just keep getting beat down and beat down and beat down, and you're being told, oh, you either fucking, take this jab or you don't have a job kind of shit or whatever the case be. And people are just like, fuck you. And they'll just leave is what it is, dude, in most cases. I mean, hell, I can tell a great story right now, dude. My mom worked for Walmart for almost 20 years of her entire life until she quit, until she retired. And they fucked her out of at least $100,000 in overtime at that place, dude, in her 19 some odd years working for them. And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, the Waltonaires are some of the biggest fucking scumbag pieces of shit on earth right now, dude. They just are. And more recently, if you actually look into Walmarts and stuff like that, dude, they've been in giant lawsuits right now because they're actively doing criminal shit. And yet they're not going to prison for it. And that's a big ass fucking problem in our country right now. And again, why is that? Because, oh, shocker, there's giant fucking corporate lobbies at a federal level and at most state levels too, for that matter, that are like, oh, but we can do whatever the fuck we want kind of shit. It's like the whole, corporations are people BS from whatever the fuck it was, Obama's administration or Bush's administration, 10, 15 years ago, whatever the hell it was now. And then, which, by the way, was the worst fucking ruling the Supreme Court ever made. I believe it was the Supreme Court that did that, where they said that corporations are people. Like, nah, fuck that shit, dude. Like, that needs to be overturned immediately because corporations are not people, dude. They are a giant fucking entity is what it is. And they are a giant entity in most cases that should not exist. And when you're making a corporation, a giant corporation that becomes a giant lobbyist wing of said corporation to go out there and fuck over people and screw over any kind of workforce there is, no, fuck that shit, dude. Which leads us to the minimum wage thing. Minimum wage in of itself is a joke to begin with, dude, because in the first place, the entire point of minimum wage is it's supposed to be the minimum thing that somebody's going to do. It was never meant to be a living wage to begin with. Like, there's a huge difference between a living wage and a minimum wage. A minimum wage is something where a kid can go to high school, go after high school to a job, like a burger flipping job or something like that, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Arby's, whatever the fuck it is, make some extra money, maybe be able to, fill a gas tank or whatever the case be, or go to the movies or some shit like that. It was basically pocket money for them to be able to have some kind of work experience while they were still in school and to then go on and eventually work a better job is what it is, dude. After that, maybe go to college, maybe go someplace else, trade school, whatever it is, dude. It was never meant to be a job where you're going to raise a fucking family on. And that's the problem right now, dude. You have so many people in our society that have tried to do just that now. Well, where they will go out there, they will have next to no skill set whatsoever, and they'll go work at one of these places or multiple of these places, have 2-3 jobs working at various, burger joints and stuff like that, dude. Maybe there's some McDonald's here or a Burger King over here or next day or whatever it is, or, double shifts at different places and stuff like that, where it's like, leave a McDonald's at 5 o'clock, go to a Burger King at 6 o'clock, and you're basically working like fucking 14 hours a day or something like that. and you can't even provide because, again, they're not meant to be living wage jobs, dude. And that's the problem right now. And I think that's kind of where a lot of that quiet quitting shit comes in at, because it's people that are like, oh, well, I'm so sick and tired of this bullshit and I've been fucked over for the last couple of years or whatever because of my bosses and stuff. And it's like, no, you were in a position that was never going to pay well enough for you to live on or have a family on, but yet you're choosing that life anyway, dude, is what it is. And in reality, it's the same people that need to go out there and get a fucking skill set or create the skill set themselves. And the real issue is, and this is something I will agree with this other individual on that was talking about this stuff, is that there really is not incentivization in this country anymore, dude, to be able to get ahead anymore, you know? And they are true about that. Like, at one point in time, whether it be 100 years ago, 200 years ago, whatever it was, if you got enough money, your status in life would go from you're poor to now you're middle class or you're high class or you're rich or whatever the case be. Now it's basically you have such a divide between the rich and the poor anymore, where you could basically be so-called middle class and stuff like that, dude, but you're still not really middle class. You're still the working poor at that point, man. And that's the issue right now entirely. And when you look at the cashless society they keep trying to take us to right now, that's a big fucking issue as well, dude. And why are they trying to take us to a cashless society? Because of the fact that they want us in a situation where they know every single fucking transaction that we make, from every last bullet you buy, to every last gun that you buy, to every last piece of food that you buy, to knowing exactly what you eat on a regular basis, so that potentially they could fuck with your meals and stuff like that, or they could fuck with your actual purchasing and stuff like that. And don't even get me started on the fact that you got the social credit scores from China and stuff like that now, dude, that they keep trying to implement and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, fuck that shit, dude. There's a reason why the guy behind Gray State was murdered by the Obama administration, dude. I'm going to straight up say that right now. The guy that was the director of that Gray State movie that was supposed to come out like a decade ago, they fucking killed him and his family, dude. And they covered up to make it look like a murder-suicide. And it was because that dude was telling the truth of what they were going to try to pull, dude. And it wasn't just Obama and company, dude. It was because obviously they're just like the fucking, baseline puppets is what it is. It's the Bilderberg types behind them, the fucking Soroses, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, etc., dude. And when you're sitting there, making enemies of these people is what it is, dude. Like, yeah, they're going to fucking make sure that you're no longer on this earth and stuff like that and make you look like a crazy person to essentially fuck you is what it is, man. And that's the problem right now in a nutshell, dude. It's people that don't actually care, and then some people that do care, and unfortunately they're the ones that get wiped out very easily, dude. And the worst thing of it all is when you start looking at stuff like that, then you end up in a situation where, again, it's people that, don't have anything is what it is, man. And so I would say, honestly, when it comes to stuff, what ended up happening with 2020 and the lockdowns and everything like that is, it's not that people, realize that they had enough money to quit on or whatever, dude. It's that people are like, why am I wasting time at this dead-end fucking job making, $8.50 an hour or less in a lot of cases, and I'm putting up with this shit where people just like screaming at me over masks and fucking everything else like that. It's like, no, I'm just going to leave here. And then they're going to sit there and they're going to move into a place, an apartment or whatever it is, dude, with a bunch of people is what it is. Or in a lot of cases, they just move back home now. Because that's what it was for a lot of people, dude. They just moved back home with their parents and shit like that. Or it was even grandma's house or something like that they moved into. And now you have, 3-4 generations living in the same home and stuff like that now, dude. And as people are realizing they could live on less is what it was. Because they're like, I think the stress got to, like, there's a difference between, like, obviously, like, a lot of the people right now and, like, that I'm talking about and, like, several other people that have done different things or whatever now. Basically, the way I look at 2020 was, it was a reevaluation for a lot of people, dude. It was like, okay, I work this job that's like, in some cases, like my brother used to work, where he was working 80 to 100 hours a week is what it was, dude. And, yeah, he was burning it at both ends and in the middle, and he almost killed himself because of that whole thing, dude. He almost died of stress is what it was. Obviously, that's what I mean when I say that. And yeah, he got to a point, dude, where he just fucking eventually was like, nah, fuck that. He left the job, and then he eventually, unfortunately, it was right before 2020 happened, and then he never got his own I don't really want to say corporation, but it was his own business off the ground is what it was then. And he realizes after the fact that like it was a mistake the way he did it because he should have gone into business with somebody else is what it was and had a partner involved in this whole thing. Um, but the whole point of it was though is like, yeah, like he knew what he had to do and he knew that like where he was at was not the place he wanted to be is what it was. And I don't disagree with that, man, because again, it's and I told him that for years before that. I was like, nah, dude, you need to get the hell out of here. The place that you're in right now and move on and do something else because you are stressing yourself to an early grave right now. And he realized that after the fact that he very much was. And unfortunately, you know, it like I said, didn't work out for him, but now he has a new job, which is nice. And, you know, I think his new place that he's working at now is, as he's told us for the few days he's been working there now, he says it's a lot better off, honestly. It's a lot smaller than his old place was. But yeah, it's a lot less stressful though, is the way he was saying it was. So in the long run, hopefully it works out better for him and stuff. And I think that's what a lot of people are, dude. They're sitting there reevaluating their life is what it is, dude, and being like, okay, what do I really want to do with the rest of my life, kind of thing. And maybe they did have a few $1,000 stored away, or maybe it was even like a few $100s stored away, or whatever the case be, where it wasn't really a paycheck to paycheck type of situation, but it was more of a, okay, we have a little bit of cash here that we can, fuck around with if we, do certain things and finagle and shit like that. And then you also got to think about it from this perspective. Homelessness in this country has gone up quite a bit since 2020, dude. And I think in that case, it's a lot of those people as well, dude, where it's people that have been there who are in a situation where they should be able to afford things and they can't. And, going back to the thing with Mike Rowe and stuff like that, dude, yeah, there's a lot of fucking jobs out there. There's a lot of quote unquote opportunity out there, but it's all in these major cities where, whether it be a New York or an LA or whatever the case be. And who wants to live there, dude? Number one, because number two on that one, like, well, first of all, number one, they're both shithole fucking cities is what it is, dude. They're leftist fucking run hell pockets in this country. And then the second thing of that is because of the criminality there that they let run rampant and shit. But also on top of that is the cost of living is like 10 times what it would be out in the fucking rural areas, dude. I remember there was years ago, one of my cousins who her father is from Maine, or not from Maine. Her father lives in Maine. She actually does too now. She used to live in New York though. At one point when she was going to college, and this was back in like, I can't remember if it was pre 9/11 or it was right after 9/11, like 2002, 2003, someplace in there. I want to say it was like around like 2000-ish or so, maybe 2002-ish, somewhere in there. But she was basically telling us a story, and this was back when I want to say cigarettes around here were like, I don't know, $3-ish a pack, maybe. She was buying packs of cigarettes in New York because she was a smoker that were like almost $20 a fucking pack, dude. And she talked about buying cartons that were like several $100s, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude. And it became a situation there of like, you're just pissing away money eventually on that one, dude. I mean, you're always pissing away money on, shit like that, like vices and stuff. But that was like the bigger kind of one is what it was. But yeah, we were just like, damn, dude, that's insane. And yeah, the whole thing with that was it was a situation where you have people not realizing like there are certain things that you can do and there are certain things that you can't do and there are certain things that you should do. And the real issue becomes when you're not actually incentivizing people to want to work or to want to do anything, dude. All it ends up with is basically a giant shit show then. And I think that's the problem right now with our society in a nutshell, dude, is it's people that you are beating people down. You are devaluing what their labor is actually worth because of mass importation of illegal aliens into this country. And that's a huge fucking issue, by the way, that nobody ever seems to fucking bring in as a topic, except for people like me that actually give a fuck about our nation and our border, dude, is what it is. And yeah, when you're literally fucking incentivizing the third world to come here, which I've talked to people before. I talked to my cousin's ex, who her family is from Nicaragua. And she specifically said multiple of her cousins tried to come to America illegally because they told them on their fucking TVs, because of Soros NGOs and shit like that, buying up commercial ad buys, dude. Come to America. You will get free handouts. You will have free healthcare. You will get free fucking food with EBT and food stamps and government benefits and housing and everything. It's going to be the most glorious thing ever. Just come here and be a voter base for us, the Democrat Party. And that's exactly what they were fucking rolling out to these people, dude. And the problem is, when it comes to countries like Nicaragua, just like Venezuela, just like El Salvador, Honduras, etc., dude, that are all under goddamn communist and socialist dictatorships. What happens when you bring these third worlders to America? They vote in communist and socialist dictatorships. And that's the problem. They shouldn't be allowed to vote in our elections, but yet somehow Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters and company are still holding power in California after 30 to 40 fucking years in office. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe because they keep importing fucking voter bases and having people illegally vote for them back into office every fucking 2 years? Voter fraud is a real fucking problem in this country, dude. And I'm sick and tired of it, honestly. We all know what fucking happened in 2020, dude. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And it's a bunch of bullshit that has not been investigated to this fucking day, man. There is so much fucking evidence going on there that should have been investigated years ago, dude. 2,000 mules is a big fucking deal, dude. And I'll leave it at that. But yeah, it fucking pisses me off, dude. It absolutely fucking pisses me off because it's just like, and it should piss everybody off too, for that matter, dude. Like, if you're not pissed off about shit like that, dude, then you're living under a fucking rock right now. And my biggest issue with the whole thing is, when you're incentivizing people to come here that are like the lowest skilled labor possible, dude, because again, they don't have education. They don't have decent skill sets either, dude. And you're incentivizing them to come to our country, which is devaluing our labor even more, which is devaluing our minimum wage even more, which is devaluing our dollars even more. And it's like, bro, at some point the shit's going to break. And that's what I worry about right now, honestly, dude, is the day that the levee breaks. And I'm going to start saying that right now. The day that the levee breaks, because it's going to break very soon, man. Actually, speaking of levees, while we go off on a little tangent here, there was a TV show called 5 Days at Memorial that came out earlier this year. It was based on a real life thing that happened during Katrina and how the levees broke back then and stuff like that because of poor mismanagement and just like them pissing away money and it was the government just stealing money at all levels is what it was, dude. And so you had like what should have been like tens of millions, if not billions of dollars going into levee fixes and stuff like that in New Orleans. Literally went into corrupt ass officials' pockets is what it was, which, by the way, is a huge thing all the way around, even to this day right now, dude, when it comes to our government in a nutshell. That's why you keep having all these billions of dollars being funneled to Ukraine and stuff like that, even though it's going into Biden and Pelosi and fucking Waters and Feinstein's pockets, etc., dude. And that's the case, dude, for real. Like, if you're not believing that shit, like, again, look into that stuff, dude. Or if it's not going directly into their pockets, it's going into some fucking oligarch person over there in Ukraine/Russia area that's just taking over borders, and that's been proven at this point where they have people literally walking over to the next country over and just trying to smuggle in fucking suitcases full of cash and smokes and stuff like that, dude. That's been a thing for months now, actually. And yeah, it's a bunch of shit all the way around, dude. And the worst thing about all that is then, and you look into these kind of things like that, is that what you end up having is a situation where you have people then who are going to, again, continue to do criminality stuff. It's just like insider trading and stuff like that, dude. I mean, there was a reason why you had our fucking federal government shut down a page on Reddit that was literally the stock portfolio of Nancy Pelosi and the weird, crazy stock trades that she made every day or whatever it was, dude. And yet, meanwhile, you had people start making that stuff. And what do? They became multi-millionaires almost immediately because of that, dude. Because it was all kinds of insider trading shit, which, by the way, is the exact reason why high treason exists in this country, because you are literally destroying the sovereignty of our fucking nation by making yourself a rich old cunt is what it is. And that's exactly why not only Congress, not only the family members of Congress, but also anybody directly tied to anybody that's ever been in elected office, friends, neighbors, anything like that, dude, should all be banned from buying stock, from being able to do investments like that, dude. And I mean that seriously. It should be anybody within, like, I would say, a 15-mile radius of this person. I mean, not quite that much, but yeah, like, it should be the people, their direct family members. So it'd be like spouses, kids, etc., extended family, sisters, brothers, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, all that stuff like that, dude, should all be barred from being able to buy any kind of stock or any kind of like trade stuff like that, dude. For anybody that's in elected office like that, dude, because that way you would stop insider trading almost immediately, dude, because it'd be impossible to do then. And that's the problem right now. It's not impossible to do because, again, you look at people like current Congressman Bob Gibbs, who represents me here and is going to be out of office come the end of the year. Right before they did the CHIPS Act stuff this year, dude, this fucking cocksucker bought a shitload of fucking money into Intel and a bunch of other chip stuff like that, dude, for the manufacturing. How the fuck is this man not in prison right now? And it wasn't just him, by the way. Pelosi was doing it. A shitload of other Democrats were doing it. Gibbs was just one of the fucking rhino cunts that was also doing it, dude, is what it was. And that's another thing, too, by the way. There is no fucking Democrat, Republican fucking mixture parties at a federal level anymore, dude. It's all fucking uni-party shit at this point. Like, almost all of it, dude. I'm not going to sit here and say that there's not candidates in the midterms here that are not fucking uni-party assholes and stuff like that, dude. And there's not a couple that are, like, already in office and they've only been there a couple years or whatever right now. Like, I would say, like, a Lauren Boebert or a Marjorie Taylor Greene probably would not be one. But yeah, for the most part, like, your Ted Cruz's, your fucking Mitch McConnell's, your Lindsey Graham's, all those douchebags like that, all the career people is the way I'll put it right now. All of those fucking cunts, dude, are 100% fucking uni-party people who don't give a shit about the American people, who just want to fuck us over, who just want to make themselves rich, makes their families rich, sell us out to fucking China and Russia and every other fucking country they possibly can right now. And that's a huge issue right now, dude, entirely. And again, at some point, the levee's going to break, dude. At some point, the pendulum's going to swing and snap. At some point, people are going to wake up to the fucking bullshit and just have enough. At some point, it's going to be a balkanization event. It's going to be a civil war. It's going to be a revolution. Take your pick. It could be all of them, honestly, at this point. It all depends, man. I believe truthfully we're heading towards some shit right now. And I think right now, the thing is, they always talk about the history books are written by the winners, and that is very true. That is a very telling truth out there. The thing is, who's to say who's going to be the winners right now? Maybe it's us. Maybe it's them. I believe truthfully, though, when it comes to the world history of the United States around this time period of history right now, where it's like let's go ahead and say the 90s to the 2020s or 2030s or whatever, dude. Because I think by 2030, we're definitely going to have some kind of an event, dude, whether it be a balkanization event, whether it be a revolution, revolt, civil war, whatever the case be. Again, take your pick. But when it comes to stuff like that, I think there's going to be a time period very soon where it's going to be written down and it's going to show exactly what happened here. And it's going to be that people just finally had enough, dude. It's going to be that people were just like, no, fuck this shit. It's fucking go time, motherfucker. And they finally just had it, dude. They finally just had enough. And I think, truthfully, it's going to be one of the most interesting time periods in this country's history because it'll show exactly what led to it. It's just like how when you look back into history when it comes to the original American Civil War or the original American Revolution, some of it's told the truth there. Of course, there's a lot of, revisionist history that's been written into it now, where in reality, people never talk about, most people never talk about the Civil War itself being a lot about states' rights and actually, the fact that the South had quite a bit of their own manufacturing and production and stuff like that, and just wanted to secede from the North is what it was, dude. And the North was like, oh, we can't get your tax money anymore. Well, fuck that shit. And then, of course, they all, played under slavery and stuff like that, which I'm not going to sit here and say that slavery wasn't some part of it. I think it was. It just wasn't as big as they claim it was, dude. It was probably more like about, like, if they're sitting there trying to claim it was like 100%, it was more like probably about like 40 to 50%, maybe at most. And the other, 50 to 60% was just the other stuff then, the states' rights issues, the manufacturing stuff, the, hey, we want to take our own things and make our own money and fuck your fucking taxation and stuff like that kind of thing. And you look back in history, even, I mean, hell, right after the American Revolution happened, dude, there was the Whiskey Rebellion, and they call it the Whiskey Rebellion because the shit that was being taxed at the time was legitimately the barley and things like that were used to make whiskey, is what it was, dude. And it was all the different, wheat and grain and shit like that was all used there to make or I think it was actually rye is what it was, that was being taxed into nothingness, is because it was them trying to pay for the war effort from the revolution itself, dude. And it's exactly why when you look back into the Whiskey Rebellion, that's why George Washington, sort of took a knee for a little bit of time and was like, I'm going to let this play out for a while. And then eventually people were like, you need to get your ass involved in this, dude, to make sure that nobody kills anybody here. And eventually he did, and that's when it basically got squelched then. And then, of course, we can talk about the insurrection acts throughout history with, obviously it was founding father Thomas Jefferson that was then president that created the first one of them, is what it was. And it was over shipping lane stuff and whatnot, and how the British were trying to fuck us over and whatnot there. And I believe it was Lake Chesapeake or something like that. It's on the page for the actual insurrection acts. I'm not going to go to it right now. And then, of course, they had Nat Turner's Rebellion in there, which was a whole slave thing as one of the insurrection acts. And it was some dude on a slave plantation named Nat Turner who essentially was trying to rile up other slaves to, overthrow their overlords and stuff like that at the time. And then eventually they got squelched, is what it was. And then there's a bunch of other ones throughout history. Obviously, the latest one that happened was over 30 years ago now, during the Rodney King race riots of 1992 is what it was, dude. Where you had a bunch of people do all kinds of racial shit and stuff like that, and then loot and riot and everything else like that, dude. And it's, ironically enough, it was basically what happened in 2020, just in 92 is what it was, dude. Because, again, you just have people go out there and steal shit over some fucking piece of shit is what it was, dude. I mean, how you had Rodney King in 92 who was an admitted drunk and high behind the wheel on various drugs. And then you got fucking Fentanyl Floyd in 2020 who was high as a fucking kite on some random shit. Medical examiner proved that stuff, by the way. And you got people in both eras doing all kinds of stupid shit, and we're like, oh, it's fucking go time, Christmas time for everybody now. And that's exactly what they did, dude. A lot of those people went Christmas shopping early. I remember there was a meme that I actually made. It was based on a photo of some dude, and it was something about like vote Democrat, loot America blind, and it was this dude who, there was a liquor store in Minneapolis there. I think it was Minneapolis or wherever exactly the Floyd situation happened there, that part of Minnesota. And you had the dude and a bunch of other people basically gang rob this liquor store is what it was, dude. Do like a flash rob of it is what it was. And yeah, the dude walked out. He had an entire book bag full of booze, and he had like 4 or 5 more bottles he was trying to carry in his hands, and there was like a couple shoved in his pockets too, dude. And it was literally like, and I think there was even 1 or 2 in his pants pocket, or his the cuffs of his pants is what it was, dude. Because he was barely able to walk is what it was, dude. Like he had probably like I would say honestly he was probably carrying like 4 or 5, and then he had like another like 3 or 4 in his pants pockets and like in the cuffs of his pants and stuff like that. Like he was fucking loaded up, dude. And that's what it was. You just had people do everything that they possibly could, dude, and use that shit as an opportunity to be criminals is what it was, dude. It's just like the people who murdered David Dorn. You know, what was their thing? Oh, let's go fucking steal this TV. Oh shit, this off-duty fucking security guy is trying to stop us. Boom, blew his fucking head off is what it was, dude. It's disgusting, dude. It really is. The murder of David Dorn really needs to be talked about more, dude, because nobody really seems to give a fuck about that dude. Even though he was legitimately killed in cold blood by some piece of shit gangbanger is what it was, dude, who was trying to steal a fucking TV. And it's like, Jesus Christ, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, these tend to be the same people who, and that's the thing too, by the way. Like, go back to the whole quiet quitting thing and the minimum wage thing and stuff like that, dude. There are so many people in our society that just refuse to work, is what it is, dude. And they just want to sit there and get government assistance all the time. I remember one of my buddies here was talking about how, this is a few years ago now, so it's probably like 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. He was telling me a story where he had gone to a local Walmart, and it happened to be, I think it was either like the 2nd or the 16th of the month, which would have been obviously the day after they tend to hand out or they tend to fill people's cards for EBT and shit like that. And he said there was this dude in front of him who had, I think it was 2 or 3 cartloads full of stuff. They ended up having shit on the list of items there that you cannot actually purchase with EBT stuff because it was not, because there's like a list of stuff you can't purchase. Like usually, it used to be like hot foods and stuff like that you couldn't put on there and whatnot. And then there was what was I saying now? Yeah, there was hot foods on there that couldn't be, and now they actually changed that to where you can actually, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that updates all the time is what it is. But anyway, so basically at the time you couldn't do like hot foods, and then there was like a few other things that were just like, you know, like diapers and stuff like that don't qualify and whatnot because again they're not you know, food products and shit. And so you had the dude basically be told, they're like, okay, you still like, okay, you know, this will be, you know, $347 or whatever it was for the amount of stuff he had there, whatever it was. So the guy pulls out an EBT card, swipes that, and they're like, oh, you still have like $35 or whatever that you have to, you know, pay on top of that or whatever it is. This dude apparently pulled out the fattest wad of cash my friend said he had ever seen. Pretty much all hundreds on the first like 15 bills on top of it. Guy pulls it open a little bit, I don't know if he pulled out 100 or 50 or whatever it was from the thing, hands it off to the cashier, and then puts the big ass wad of cash back in his pocket. And that's the kind of shit why people are pissed, dude, because that is somebody who is taking advantage of the fucking system 100% that does not need to be. Most likely, the reason that they're able to take advantage of the system like that, dude, is because they're most likely a drug dealer, is my guess. Or doing some kind of other criminal shit, honestly, for that matter. To where they can't actually have their, you know, cash be, you know, taxed and stuff like that. So they're sitting there in a cash business is what it is, dude. And it's a bunch of shit all the way around, dude. Because you're taking that shit from people who actually need it. You know? And it's like the same exact thing with the fucking illegals coming into this country, dude. Who have no business being in our country to begin with and are stealing fucking food from American citizens' mouths. When there's a lot of Americans that should be on these, you know, programs for, you know, EBT and stuff like that can't even qualify because, oh, you're a fucking able-bodied person and stuff like that. Which, by the way, I'd like to point something out. I was on EBT for a while. I'm actually going to admit that right now. I was cut off earlier this year because they claimed I was able-bodied. I'm not, by the way. Physically, I cannot work because of my back problems, dude. But yet they won't put me on disability is what it is. Over my back issues and my spinal cord issues is what it was since I was about 26 or so. When I was living down in Columbus, I had multiple falls in the same year, and it fucked my spine up since then. And yeah, if I don't get regular chiropractic treatments, I am crippled entirely, dude. So, but yet I'm not crippled enough to where I'm not considered, you know, disabled, basically. And I don't qualify for disability. This is bullshit, dude. And you know, it happened to me earlier this year during the whole Corona thing and everything else like that, where I had that shit for like 6 weeks or whatever. I was basically bedridden. And I tried to call him up and tell him, I'm like, yeah, I'm not coming in for your fucking interview, dude, because I'm so fucking sick right now. I can't even get out of bed. But because I was so sick in bed and I was about to like feel like I was dying and stuff like that, I'm like, no, I'm not even going to bother calling. And then they're like, well, we're just going to cut you off then. It's like, fuck you people, man. Seriously. It's such a bunch of crap entirely, dude. Like their entire system is just bullshit entirely, dude. Like it's all just such a bunch of fuckery is what it is, dude. Like on so many different levels. And they just figure out a way to fuck you every chance they get is what it is, dude. And yet meanwhile, then if you're the worst part of it is though, yet meanwhile, if you are some fucking single bitch who is either pregnant or has a bunch of kids already and stuff like that, dude, no, you get all kinds of fucking handouts, dude. But if you're a fucking man who doesn't have dependents, who doesn't have fucking, the ability to get pregnant and stuff like that, oh no, you got to go and be able-bodied now. Yeah, it really is a double standard bunch of shit on men. It is what it is entirely. And I'm personally sick and tired of that crap, dude. But anyway. So, what I was trying to say, though, was the whole thing, our whole system is just flawed, is what it is, dude, right now. And I feel like, truthfully, there's a lot of people that have basically just opted out of participating, and it is what it is. Like I said, I don't think a lot of them actually have the funds to do things, is what it is, dude. It's why you've seen our country basically go down, physically over the last X amount of time now to where people just aren't buying anything, is what it is, dude, because they can't afford to anymore. And that's the truth of the matter right now, dude. You have so many Americans who are, at one point they were living paycheck to paycheck and stuff like that. Now they're not even living that, high in the hog anymore. So, yeah, we're definitely coming to a precipice in history right now, dude, where people are going to start living within their means again, I believe is what it is. And I think you're starting to see that kind of take place in some cases, because you have Americans basically realizing, like, okay, what do I actually need to survive, kind of thing. Oh, do I need this thing? Do I need this thing? Do I need that thing? No, I don't need these things. Okay, then I'm not going to take these things, is what it is. And so what you end up with is you end up in a situation now where when you have people who realize that, okay, since I'm no longer in need of, this, or this, because it's all a bunch of Chinese made garbage, again, they're going to go without, is what it is, dude. Or they're going to realize, like, oh, I can actually make meals for less at home and stuff like that. Okay, let me do this thing now. And that's the one thing as well. I believe, truthfully, with the amount of people not working anymore and the amount of people that realize how much of a joke minimum wages and stuff like that, dude, because it, again, it's supposed to be the minimum amount of work you're doing actually to get that minimum wage is what it is, dude. You're going to start having food gangs because of inflation very soon, I believe. And I'm surprised it's not starting yet already at this point, dude, because I think we're getting to a point right now where you're going to start seeing some crazy shit kick off in various ways very, very soon. Very, very soon in this country. And when that stuff starts to, unravel and whatnot, it's going to be a bad day for a lot of people, bro. Like, you're going to see a lot of bad shit happen in a very quick succession. And I think we're finally starting to see the very beginnings of it right now, where people have started to wake up and realize and been like, oh, okay, this is what it's like to go without. And it's like I said before, when you have people there like all over California that can't afford housing because the housing market is such a fucking retarded ass bunch of bullshit, dude, to where you got teachers and everybody else living in their fucking vehicles and RVs and stuff like that, mobile homeless people. Or even worse than that, you got the other people who are actual homeless people who are so psych drugged out and everything else like that, or should be on psych drugs for that matter, and are just fucked in the head is what it is, dude. Like, yeah, you're gonna have a bad day. You're gonna have a bad day entirely, dude, if you run into one of these fucking psychos is what it is, because these are the people who are gonna stab you to death is what it'll be, and won't think twice about it, man. There's a lot of crazy motherfuckers in our society right now, dude, that should not be out and about. And unfortunately, they are able to be out and about because, again, we don't have actual mental institutions anymore for these people, dude. Thanks, people in Reagan's administration, who were the assholes that shut down the fucking state hospitals like that back in the day. Yeah, we used to have psych wards for these people to go to, man. Not anymore, though. And it's because of dumb motherfuckers that were in office like that right then. So, yeah, it's going to be bad, man. Like I said, I think we're definitely heading towards a time period in history where it's going to get so much worse before it ever gets better. And I think you're going to have a lot of people start to wake up and realize, like, okay, I can do without this or I can do without that. You know, okay, what's the basic essentials I have to have now? Like, what's the basics that I need for, my own needs is what it is. And it's going to be those same individuals that when they, realize, like, okay, I can go without this or this or this for, a week or 2 days or whatever it is. Then again, those are going to be the same individuals that don't need that kind of shit then. And they're going to be the kind of people that will then realize, like, okay, so I can do with less. I can do with, not needing this or that or these things. And they're also going to be the individuals that then will have a better overall understanding of exactly what will be needed, when things go south. Or they'll be the ones that will already be prepared for things because they'll be the ones that'll sit there and have a list of individual stuff that they would need. Where it's like, okay, we do need this, we do need that, we do need these things over here. Okay, milk's on the list, eggs are on the list. Let me figure out a way to do some chicken stuff or whatever here. And yeah, it'll be things like that, dude. Where you'll just have them change up their dietary habits in a lot of cases. And they'll tend to be the ones that will be able to go out there and do something, dude. And be able to change their lifestyle. Possibly for the better, actually, on that one. And I think in many cases, you'll end up with a society of better people, is what it is, dude. Because it'll be these same individuals that will then turn around and be able to actually, know what's going to happen, know what's going to be better for them, is what it is. And we'll be able to then tell, like, others, be like, okay, now we can get into a barter and trade kind of system then. And I think that will lead to something like that, honestly, dude. And I believe truthfully when it comes to balkanization events and stuff like that, that's exactly what we'll see there, is what it is. You'll see people that will be like, okay, I have this, eggs and everything else like that. What do you have for trade here, is what it is. And you'll see things like that happen. Where it will be individuals doing different things, dude. Well, they'll be like, okay, you have this, I have this kind of situation. And yeah, I think we're definitely heading towards a time period very soon in this country where you're going to have people wake up and realize one day very soon they can live on less. They can live on, various amounts of things that are much less to what they used to live on. And when people start waking up and realizing that, that's when you're going to have a whole new generation of prepared folks, is what it is, dude. Because you're going to have people that actually finally stand up on their own 2 feet, be able to pick themselves up by their bootstraps, be able to do what needs to be done. Don't want to rely on government for fucking shit, dude. Want to tell the government to go fuck itself in many cases. It's just like that fucking stupid cunt AOC said one time where she's like, oh, they always talk about picking yourself up by your bootstraps. People don't have bootstraps anymore. Like, seriously, how many fucking cocks did that fucking stupid communist cunt have to fucking suck to get into Congress, dude? Because we already know she blew Chonk Uger for sure to get that fucking position, dude. And the rest of the idiots at the fucking young turd burglars that were sitting there doing all kinds of stuff there, dude. Yeah. They fucking, dude, they fronted her fucking campaign so much fucking money, it's not even funny. It is such a fucking insult to everybody in this country, honestly, dude. I hate that woman so much, dude. Because she is literally the representation of everything that's wrong with America right now, currently. Her and the rest of the fucking retard squad. Because every single one of them is even more retarded than the next, dude. and that's the truth of the matter, dude, is it is stupid people who are some of the most dumb motherfuckers on earth who have no business ever being in office, yet they are holding public office in this country. And it's like, how? How did that happen? And then when you realize all the chicanery going on and all the fucking, backdoor shady ass deals and shit like that, dude, and it's like, it happens everywhere, dude. And that's the problem. And this is exactly why insider trading and stuff like that, and exactly why dark money stuff should all be death penalties in this country, dude. And if they were, we would be better off as a country right now, dude. Because you would have already had so many people seal their own fucking fates, is what it is, dude. By pulling that crap, that they would just be gone from this earth, is what it is, dude. And that's the real truth of the matter, honestly, at the end of the day, man. Is it's going to take a lot of things to change this country, and we will only change for the better when a lot of things happen right now, dude. And I believe, truthfully, we're heading for a time right now where you're going to see that shift happen, dude. I don't know exactly what it'll look like when it does. I really don't. But I believe when it does happen, people will see very quickly, like, oh shit, something's about to go down, kind of thing. And they will be able to be prepared for it, is what it is. And yeah, crony capitalism is a huge fucking problem with America currently, dude. It has been for decades. It has been for, honestly, centuries, really. The issue is when you have these morons, the people that make up your Antifas, your BLMs, etc., bitching about, oh, capitalism is such a problem, we need to implement communism. No, crony capitalism is a fucking issue, dude. And we've never seen what true capitalism looks like in the United States of America, at least in my lifetime anyway. Because if we actually did, you would see everything from the perspective where even the poorest person can work hard enough and get ahead and become a rich person, become a different tiered class. But that's the problem, dude. When you don't have true capitalism, you're never going to experience that stuff because it's always going to be a rigged fucking game is what it is, dude. And that's exactly what we've seen for so many times now in this country, dude. We've just seen a rigged game. It's just like the fucking too big to fail bank bailouts and the fucking housing market crash, dude. Every single one of those fucking banksters should have gone to prison for that shit, dude. Every single one of them. Not one of those fuckers should have ever been out of prison a day after that, dude. Oh no, their banks are too big to fail. Oh, they're too big to jail. Fuck that. Nobody is too big to fail. Nobody is too big to jail, dude. You slap the fucking cuffs on, you throw their bitch asses in gen pop, some fucking ass raping prison, and you be done with it, dude. And I'm not talking about some white collar bullshit, dude. I'm talking about everyday American prisons where there is a very good possibility that if you do something wrong, you're probably going to get fucking booty gooned is what it is, dude. It's just like that piece of shit Daryl Brooks there in Waukesha, Wisconsin during that fucking trial that's going on right now, dude. That dude should be meeting every single booty goon in every single fucking gen pop of every single prison possible that they could send this motherfucker to, man. Whether it be the fucking... And the thing is, I've heard people say something about like Aryan Brotherhood or Aryan Nation or whatever, be waiting for them and stuff like that. It's like, nah, dude. It would be every gang in those prisons, dude, because as far as I'm aware, it wasn't just white people he killed in that event, dude. There were some minorities as well that got hurt and injured and stuff like that, dude. So, and truthfully, I don't even think it matters if it was just white kids or not, dude. Like, you would have people that would be fathers and stuff like that would just be pissed, dude. And, yeah. Or it would be even people that just had, like, grandmothers and stuff like that, and they saw the grandmother that was killed during that event, too, as well. And they would just be like, nah, fuck this fucking guy, dude. And it would be... it'd be like that scene from Full Metal Jacket where they tell the guy to shut the fuck up in the middle of the night, and then a couple of them, like, grab him down with a blanket or whatever it is. and everybody else starts smacking him with fucking socks of soap and stuff like that. It'd be kind of like that every day, basically. Except it would be probably way worse than that for Daryl Brooks, dude, because I'm guessing, honestly, he'd be getting a lot more than that happening to his bitch ass, honestly, in those prison systems, dude, as he should, by the way. Because fuck that fucking guy. You know, honestly, I'll say it like it is, dude. The fact that you have this dude still breathing at this point, honestly, is everything that's wrong with this country right now in a nutshell, man. Because Brooks himself should be in a fucking box somewhere. And that's the truth of the matter, dude. He should have been dead a long time ago. You know, there's a reason why states had death penalties in them for a long time, dude. And as far as I'm aware, Wisconsin took away theirs X amount of time ago, which they need to bring it back, man. Or if nothing else, fuck that. Try this cocksucker federally for terrorism and stuff like that, dude. And kill his ass at a federal level then with the federal death penalty is what it is then, man. So, you know, seriously, man. It's a bunch of bullshit right now. That we have anybody, judge, jury, prosecutors, anybody like that, putting up with the fucking garbage going on in these courtrooms now with this douchebag dude. Where you'll have this moron, asshole, piece of shit, Daryl Brooks, representing himself and pulling some sovereign citizen retarded bullshit every fucking day, dude. Like, nah. No trial, no jury. You're fucking guilty, dude. We've already seen that you're fucking guilty. We have video evidence of it. Straight off to the fucking chair, dude. Seriously. And I mean that shit seriously, dude. It's fucking ridiculous right now. Like, enough is enough of this crap, bro. Brooks is a piece of shit, dude. He is a mass murdering motherfucker. He is an anti-white racist. He is a black supremacist. He is a retarded fucking sovereign citizen / Moorish moron. And he needs to just be put down, dude. Put down like the fucking animal he is, man. You know, there's a reason why we put down rabid dogs in this country, dude, and every other country for that matter. You know, fucking rabies dog and stuff like that, or a raccoon with rabies and stuff like that, dude, is because they're diseased animals, is what it is, man. They cannot be saved. So, anyway. But yeah, needless to say, when it comes to Brooks' piece of shit ass, though, man, or I shouldn't say Brooks, but when it comes back to the rest of the stuff we're talking about today, though, yeah, there's a lot of shit going on in this country right now that I think is going to be, you're going to see the pendulum start to swing back now. And I believe it's almost impossible for there not to be a stopgap right now in the 2022 midterms, dude. Seriously, if the Democrats were able to win like blue wave shit here in the next 2 weeks, dude, there is no fucking way that people ain't gonna raise eyebrows after what happened 2 years ago, dude. Like, nah, we're not putting up with that crap as a country after that, dude. Like, again, you want to talk about straws that broke the camel's back? You want to talk about the, you know, ash from the cigar flickering towards the gunpowder buildup in the fucking room, dude? I've used that analogy before a few times, you know, Revolution, where you got a guy sitting in a room smoking a cigar, and then the fucking ash from the cigar has made its way towards the gunpowder and about to blow it up and stuff like that, dude. Go kaboom. Yeah, that would fucking for sure, man. Like, that would be what kicked that shit off real quick, dude. Like, you would have a big old explosion happen then, dude. Because people ain't gonna put up with that shit again, dude. And I think it's exactly why you have Merrick Garland and company right now targeting innocent people, targeting fucking various Americans, you know, pro-life people and stuff like that, or just doing sit-ins in a Planned Parenthood and stuff like that, dude. Because they're like, oh, we're going to weaponize the state against you. I mean, hell, you had Eamon Bundy on Tim Pool the other day talking about the real issues that led to the Bundy Ranch standoff and everything else like that, which for those who don't know about that whole thing, dude, specifically the Bundy Ranch standoff happened because then, I want to say senator, but I think he was also a Nevada governor or congressman at one time in history as well. Anyway, piece of shit criminal Harry Reid, who was one of these douchebag Democrat motherfuckers. I believe he was also a Senate Majority Leader at one point as well, back in the day, like Obama's administration right before it is what it was. This fucking old cocksucker made a bunch of deals with China to steal Cleveland Bundy's land and then was going to sell it off to these Chinese wind farm investors and pocket the fucking money in his own pocket. That's what really led to the Bundy Ranch standoff, dude. It was scumbag fucking criminals like Harry Reid who were trying to make a bunch of money and put it in their own damn pockets is what it was, dude. By stealing other people's land through bullshit eminent domain and stuff like that, dude. And then, of course, you can also talk about everything else that happened after that and the whole Oregon standoff and the murder of Lavoy Phillikim, where you had, you know, the Bundys basically, it was a couple of their buddies that were getting railroaded because the dudes had a backburn going when the fucking dumbass local government there, and I believe it was either Oregon or Washington State, was doing a supposed controlled burn towards them that got way out of fucking control because, shocker, you can't control a controlled burn, you fucking morons, when you don't put certain things in place to stop it. And of course, they were like, hey, it's about to hit our fucking property. Fuck that. So they started to do a backburn towards the actual other fire then. So it would all burn together as one then and burn itself out after that, dude. And what ended up happening there supposedly was you had like 5 to 10 feet of the burn go on to some like wetlands or whatever that was supposedly like government protected wetlands. Fun fact though, there are only 2 places that the U.S. government or any part of the United States government, whether it be U.S. government or whether it be state governments, can actually own. Those 2 places are the District of Columbia area, that like 16 miles or so that makes up Washington, D.C., and then some random ass fucking spot, and I think it's like Idaho or something like that, where it's just like some random like campground or something. Outside of those 2 places, all national parks are bullshit fucking land grabs. Every single so-called protected wetland and stuff like that's all a bunch of bullshit land grabs, et cetera, dude. So yeah, they were trying to railroad these men over a bunch of BS is what it was, dude. And that's exactly why everything kicked off there is what it really was, dude. Because people were fucking having it, dude. They were like, fuck the fucking government, as it should be, dude. So, anyway, I don't know anymore, man. I think we're definitely headed towards bad times in this country, though. I think we're definitely heading towards some kind of precipice right now where when things go south, they're going to go real south real quick is what it is, dude. And unfortunately, you know, when that happens, you're going to see a rude awakening happen in this country, dude, where people are just not going to have it anymore. Where Americans are just not going to put up with tyranny anymore, dude. And again, when that happens, I think you're going to see a lot of things change in a very quick succession because you're going to see everybody basically wake up to that fact and be like, okay, these people don't really control us anymore, kind of thing is what it is, dude. You know, it's the shackles are finally going to be taken off and people are finally going to be like, oh shit, man. Yeah. And for some, it'll be the first time that they've ever truly woken up to the bullshit. For others, it'll just be a reawakening of sorts. And for others entirely, even for that matter, dude, it'll just be them finally, you know, seeing their due diligence pay off is what it is, dude. Because honestly, if we keep going the way we're going right now, dude, I don't even recognize the United States after 2 years of the bullshit of Biden right now. And it's not even 2 years at this point, dude. It's like a year and like 8 months or something. Like 20 months into this jackass's bullshit administration, dude. I don't even recognize this country anymore. And I believe a lot of other Americans could say the same, dude. I could not even imagine another fucking 2 years of this crap, dude. Like the pendulum will snap at that point, bro. Like there's no way it's not going to. Like it is gonna snap into a million fucking pieces by then, dude. And like I said, you know, then you're gonna start a new pendulum basically after that is what it'll be, dude. Maybe a freedom pendulum if nothing else. Where it would be, you know, the people finally being in control once again. And that would be one of the best things for this country, I think, honestly, truthfully speaking. Because you would have people finally have their day. You would have people finally be able to have their, country back for once. And you would finally actually have a real true constitutional republic again, is what it would be, man. Now, granted, will the powers that be let that happen? Probably not. But who the fuck knows, dude? Are they even going to have a say when it's all said and done, honestly, dude? And that's the thing, man. Like, again, I believe only time will tell, and I believe that we will see a lot of very interesting things happen in a very short amount of time, is what it'll be, dude. And my thing is, if you're looking out for stuff, if you're looking out for signs and stuff like that, dude, I think you'll be able to see it coming from a mile away in most cases. And for those that don't see it coming and don't bother, being ready for something to come down, those are going to be the people that have their heads buried in the sand no matter what, and they're not worth saving anymore, dude. It's the ones that are actually looking up at the sky and seeing what's about to come that are going to be the ones that are going to be your brothers and sisters in battle, that are going to be there for you, that are going to be there for your community, that are going to want to actually make things better for everyone as a community of people. And that's exactly who you want to trust and who you want to be with, dude. Because it would be those individuals that are like-minded, that are very much the future of this country. And it's really as simple as that, man. And like I said, when the history books are written, they're going to be written by the winners, dude. They're going to be written by the victors of the coming collapse, of the coming, break in this country. Make sure that you're on the side of the victors, dude. Make sure that you survive what is to come. And if you can't survive, make sure that something from you does. Make sure that your spoken word, your freedom of speech actually does survive past everything. And that hopefully you yourself can be looked back on in history by somebody in the future and be like, oh shit, this person was trying to warn everybody. That person was the Paul Revere of their time. That person was the, for whom the bell tolls kind of person. Ringing the bell. The British are coming. The British are coming. Of course, that wasn't what Paul Revere actually said. It was, I forget what the actual phrasing was, because they were all British back then. Is what it was, dude. It was like the Redcoats are coming or something. It was what it actually said. That was something I learned from one of my constitutionalist buddies a couple years back now. So, anyway. But yeah, needless to say, I think we're definitely heading towards an interesting time period in history. I think you're going to have a lot of people that are not willing to actually wake up and smell the bullshit and see what's happening, dude. And I think you're going to have a lot of other folks that are like, okay, this is what I'm here for. This is why I was left on this earth. This is what we're going to do now. And of course, if it gets bad enough, you're going to have other things happen. And actually, there was something I was watching earlier. I didn't get a chance to actually finish the video yet, but it was titled from like a week ago. It was talking about how I forget exactly what it was, some kind of branch of our government basically warning people to prepare now for an EMP/solar flare. And I'm just like, fuck me, dude. Like, I always kind of thought it would be like a 1 second after event that took us all out, dude. And like, I'll tell you what, with winter coming, dude, I always think back to the thing where they're like, oh yeah, Biden talks about a dark winter and stuff like that. And I'm like, these motherfuckers are going to take us into nuclear war, aren't they? Like, that's the only thing that's ever come about with that whole thing, dude. I'm just like, these old fucking communist cocksuckers are going to take us to a goddamn fucking nuclear war, aren't they, man? And it seems like every fucking day it's coming more and more feasible that is the case right now, dude. I don't want to be in a nuclear fucking war, people. I don't think any American does. Stop trying to take us there, please. Seriously, bro. Like, we don't want to be part of your bullshit fucking wars. We will not comply. We will not be your fucking army. Go fuck yourselves. Etc., etc., etc. Seriously, man. Like, enough is enough of this shit. Fucking ridiculous, dude. I don't know anymore, man. I think we're all just fucked. I think we've all been fucked for a while at this point. It's just a matter of who's doing the fucking. And unfortunately, you know, when you get to that point of being fucked continuously and being fucked over continuously and everything else like that, dude, like eventually you just put up with it and take it, you know? And I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of Americans have gotten to that point right now where they're like, all right, fuck it. You know, I'll put up with it, I'll take it. I won't anymore, dude. I've had enough of it. I've had enough of it myself. I think a lot of other Americans have too at this point. And we're not going to take it anymore, dude. We're not going to take a giant dick up our ass anymore. You know, we're not going to fucking take it in the mouth on the opposite side either, man. And I think it's why you have a lot of people just walking away right now. Walking away from jobs, walking away from everything, man. You know? And I think, sorry about that. My hand just hit my mic. I'm assuming that came through because it made a big clunk on my fingers, actually. But yeah, I think a lot of people are just not going to put up with it anymore, man. And like I said, eventually the pendulum's going to snap. Eventually it's going to snap, dude. And when it does, you're going to see some interesting stuff happen in this country. Not all of it's going to be good. Not all of it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be someplace in the middle, honestly. I think you're going to see some good things happen. I think you're going to see some bad things happen. And I think you're going to finally see a lot of people get what's been coming to them for some time now. And hopefully that'll be for the best, honestly, when it's all said and done. Because it'll show that American people just weren't having it anymore, dude. That we're all just sick and tired of it all, man. Of the crony capitalism, of the bullshit, of the fucking cuckery and fuckery, the insider trading, fucking, you know, rigging of various things, etc., etc. And yeah, I'll tell you what, man. There's a big rig that I've been looking at lately. You know, when I say rigging of things, obviously I'm talking about big rigs, not the other kind of rigging. But anyway, or am I? Didn't really matter, honestly. It's a joke, motherfuckers. God damn it, man. Fuck you. Fucking. Of course, I stayed on just long enough for the goddamn bots to hit, man. Man, seriously, how is there nobody watching this and I got a fucking bot being able to pop up in here and do that kind of crap, dude? It's ridiculous. Fix your fucking shit, Google. There should not be fucking 69 girls, whatever the fuck thing here, being able to pop up in my damn feed, dude. When there's literally nobody watching the content, dude. Like, fix your shit to fucking burn that crap in the algorithm, dude. Like, if nothing else, make up some fucking algorithm thing to burn them out is what it is, dude. It's ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous, dude. It's starting to piss me off, dude. But anyway, that's pretty much where we're at for the day, though. Like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll be back for another one at some point here. I need to go to my other StreamYard account and see how much time I got left on that one, because I got about probably 2 hours or so left on this one now. Maybe a little bit under that even now. I know it was like just about 3 hours before I started this, so I think it's probably closer to like 2, maybe an hour and 45 minutes, something like that. So I need to check my other one, see how much time I got left on that one, and then we'll figure out how much time we got left to do stuff then, and then we'll figure out if we can actually do potentially a third account for the first time ever on this site, and get another free 20 hours then. Which, by the way, for those that don't know about that one, you can do that actually. It's just, like I said before, it just takes time to set the shit up and have it actually tied to your account is what it is then, because if you don't um, do that stuff, I know it's at least 24 hours if I'm not mistaken. I want to say it's more like 2 or 3 days actually, because I tried to do it before at one point to one of my other accounts, and it said it was taking too long or whatever to do it then. It was like a Wednesday, and so it would be done like a Friday or Saturday or something like that. So, but yeah, if nothing else, then I'll be able to, won't really matter after that because I'll have all the shit I need to have then for stuff. So, anyways, that's pretty much where we're at for today, though. You know, when it's all said and done, things are going to get very interesting very quickly, and other things are going to get very, very interesting, but it's going to take some time to get it done. And I believe, truthfully, when it's all said and done, people are finally going to wake up and smell the bullshit and realize, like, hey, we were getting fucked this whole time. And hopefully in history books, it'll show that, dude. Where it's like, oh, yeah, they were totally fucking you guys the whole time, dude. So, I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who the hell knows, man? Again, I think only time will tell. You'll have a lot of crazy stuff happen in a quick succession amount of time, and I believe that you'll definitely see a lot of chicanery happen very quickly, dude. Where some people will see things for what they are, and other people will see things for what they think they are, and even other people will see things and not see anything, right or wrong about it. They'll just be neutral kind of thing. And unfortunately, those tend to be the people that, don't really give a fuck, dude, about anything. They tend to be the folks that'll just sit there and smile and nod and everything else like that while their country's burning down around them then. And those are not the people you want to be with, by the way, when shit goes south, dude, because those will be the individuals that will get you killed no matter what. So, yeah, if nothing else, make sure that before everything goes down, man, that you have a good partner, or a few good partners for that matter, that you can set something up locally or whatever the case be, and, get shit done that way. Because when it's all said and done, I believe truthfully, most of us are only going to have our immediate family to look upon for certain things, or other individual. What the hell? That was fucking weird. Sorry, I'm playing a game and I just noticed some weird fucked up shit happening in this game. So, I don't know what that was about. That was fucking crazy. It was like one of the other people had an icon above their thing that was it was like a giant apple either being bitten into or exploded, and then some flowers and stuff. So, very weird. Very, very weird, dude. Huh. Yeah. That was real fucking weird, bro. Hmm. Yeah, that was some weird shit, man, for sure. Anyway, um, anywho, yeah, that's pretty much where we're at, though. Like I said, man, crony capitalism is a huge issue. Our whole system is a bunch of bullshit. Fucking Democrats are always fucking around at state levels when it comes to minimum wage stuff, dude. I know they were doing it here in Ohio, and it's like, stop trying to deflate our fucking value, you assholes. If you want to talk about minimum wage, let's talk about how you all should be on minimum wage at this point, motherfuckers. And that's the thing, too, by the way. I would love to see that be a thing right now, dude. Just government employees, where it's like, no, you get the bare minimum as possible, and you only get paid while you're actually working. So if you're doing a bunch of bullshit like 3-4 days out of the week and you're not actually in office doing anything, dude, or you're not on the fucking floors of the General Assemblies or whatever it is doing anything, you don't get paid, motherfuckers. There was one the other day that somebody made up. I guess it was about what should happen to the various pension funds and stuff like that. And it should be all congressmen and senators and stuff like that have all their shit put into Social Security retirement, just like everybody else does. And that's where they should be able to draw from, is what it is, dude. And I don't disagree with that honestly at all. And again, if you want better plans, you can pay for them yourselves, assholes. And it's just like the same thing with congressional benefits and lifetime benefits and stuff like that. Those will go away in that whole thing as well. And that should have happened decades ago anyway in this country. Again, it goes back to the crony capitalist bullshit system, dude. It's just like Congress being able to put themselves pay raises when that shit should go directly to the American people, because we are their fucking bosses. We are their actual bosses that elect them to that position of power, to be our elected officials, to be these civil servants who work for us, not the other way around. So yeah, it should be us having the final fucking say if and when they get a raise, which will be never, because go fuck yourselves. And it should be the same exact thing at state levels as well, do with General Assemblies, which honestly is something that I might get a petition going here in Ohio, honestly, to make Ohio first or something, where it's like, hey, y'all want a raise? Guess what? You're not voting on it yourselves anymore, asswipes. It's going to the American people of the state of Ohio for a vote, for a referendum kind of thing. And we will have two options. Should we give them a vote? No, and hell no should be the only options on those lists, dude. And the same thing for Congress and Senate too, by the way, federally, dude. It should be like, should they get a pay raise? No or hell no. There is no yes option, dude. Or there is no set amount option or anything else like that. If anything, actually, I'm sorry. There should be a way to set an option. It should be negative $100,000 or something like that per year or something. That'd be funny. That would actually be a good one, man. But yeah, like I said, that's pretty much where we're at right now for the day, though. So anyway, to call out Google real quick, dude, fix your fucking issue with bots, dude. Like seriously, when there's nobody watching my content, yet all of a sudden a bot starts spamming my chat, how the fuck is that even possible, bro? It doesn't even make any sense. Literally makes zero sense, dude. But yet it's able to happen somehow. It's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Anyway, other than that, I'll see you guys probably Friday for the 2A cast. I don't think I'll be doing anything the rest of today, because obviously it's Tuesday. I don't think I'll do anything Wednesday or Thursday either, for that matter. If I do something, it'll be probably really late on Thursday into Friday morning or something. But yeah, for the most part, I think I'm going to try to save last couple hours on the StreamYard here for Friday's cast. Then when I do a panel and stuff, and from there it'll basically be then whenever this resets then. And I may try to do another thing in the meantime to where I have like another account. Then it's a free 20 hours again then. But other than that, that's where we're at for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all in the next one.